Welcome back. Asha Singh is singing her way to South Florida superstardom. She's part Bollywood, she's part Hollywood, and she joins us right now. Asha, good to see you. How are you?
Great to see you. I'm great.
I love the story of how I discovered you. So a few weeks ago, we're doing this shoot, and we're asking people to sing on the streets, and you happen to walk by, and you're like, "I'll sing," and I'm like, "All right, she'll be okay, whatever." And then you just kill it. You just like angels on high, and I was blown away by your voice. And
well, it was very tempting. It was sing for a drink.
it was. I was going to leave that part out, but yes, it was. It absolutely was sing for a drink.
Yeah,
yes,
that was
you
fun.
Just like killed the whole thing, and you're
you.
amazing. And here we are. So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So all right. So tell us about you. You are this rising star in South Florida. Tell us about your music.
My music is a fusion of American pop with a little bit of like an Indian flavor. We kind of just inserted a little bit in there to make me a little bit more unique and to be a true reflection of who I am, how I grew up, the two different worlds. My parents were born in India. I was born in New York, so I grew up in America. But I've been to India maybe 10 to 15 times in my life. So it's a big part of my culture and it's a big part of me. But at the same time, I grew up in American schools, and all my friends are American, and so that's a huge part of me. So I wanted to make music that reflected that.
So when people throw around the word Bollywood, like I didn't know how to bring that up because I don't know if that bothers you because I feel like there's this giant caricature of what Bollywood is.
Right. So when I first started kind of figuring out my artistry, I was really influenced by a lot of like what Shakira does. She does this whole American thing, but she has that Latina culture within her music. And so I would tell people, oh, I want to be, I would try and explain it to them and they wouldn't understand what I was talking about. They're like, I don't know what that is. So then I would have to be like, oh, I'm a Bollywood pop star. Like, that's what I want to be. And so then they'd be like, oh, now I understand what you're talking about. Like, I've seen Slumdog Millionaire, like stuff like that, you know?
Right.
So, it's a really new genre because it doesn't really exist. There's a lot of guys doing it, but there's really no girls doing it. So Bollywood is a defining word for it as of right now.
Mm-hmm. But are you sort of big and grandiose in your performances?
I would say so. Like when we have dancers on stage and we're dressed head to toe in Bollywood costumes, we go big.
Yeah,
So,
or go home.
Yeah.
And, and go back to India, which is such a big trip, so you don't want to do that. And I should mention, because I like to plug UM whenever I can, you're a product of the world's greatest university, right? So well done. Way to make us proud. You mentioned Shakira before. You had a chance to work with her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually a friend at UM. She was a cellist for Univision, and she had messaged a bunch of people saying, we're looking for backup dancers and singers. It's paid. And so we had learned the choreography, we had learned singing, and it was during the World Cup time, so Waka Waka was her big song, so we figured that we were just whatever, some in-between bit. And all of a sudden she comes on stage and we're all like...
Yeah. Her hips don't lie.
No,
that's what I hear.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience.
You have a tour that's going to be going on in the fall. Tell us about that.
It's my first tour. I wanted to get my music out in a way that I could also give back. And so I had this idea to maybe visit schools and to speak and to sing to students, possibly motivate and guide them and inspire them. And I felt like I had a story that I could share. I wanted to inspire some other kid that, maybe wants to be an artist but can't up and leave to Hollywood to go on a million auditions and, do that type of thing.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with doing that, but I found it being so useful for me to be working within the music industry while pursuing it.
A couple minutes left. So your first single, Mercy, apparently is awesome, and number 7 spot on Billboard's Hot Single Sales Chart. I don't know much, but that sounds really good. Congrats.
Thank you very much. It was really awesome, especially as an independent artist, for really my community to step up and support me, and that's what came out of Mercy. That was a very Indian-esque track.
Okay.
So I was really very scared to release it because I didn't know how people would react, but it turns out that those unique features and characteristics about yourself are what shines the most. So I was very blessed to have that happen.
And your last name, Singh, it seems entirely too convenient for it to be
It is a
your
little
last name.
too convenient.
Right. So what's the story there?
So I have a different last name, it's Madukar, but when figuring out my artist name, I wanted to do something a little bit more than Asha, something that maybe branded myself a little bit more. Singh, S-I-N-G-H, is a popular last name in India for North Indians. But that wouldn't matter to you. You're not from India.
Right.
So I decided to do Singh. So when I contact Indian people, they see that word Singh and they think, oh, she's Indian. They just know automatically. And then if an American person sees it, they associate that with a
Makes
singer.
sense.
Yeah.
All right, people want to learn more about you. How do they do that?
They can go to ashasing.com, ashasing.com, and then I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all
The
that
whole
kind
deal.
of stuff.
The
Yeah,
whole
YouTube.
Twitter. Yeah. So before we go, and by the way, great seeing you again.
Thank you.
We're going to see one of your videos now, right?
Yay!
Yeah. What are we going to see?
This video, I came up with the concept, I directed it, I did everything with it. Unlike Mercy, I had somebody else do it, and it was really, really awesome. But I wanted to tell a story. I want to show off more of my personality. I'm very quirky and very corny once you get to know me.
All right. Well, good to see you again. Best of luck.
See you. Thank
and
you.
here it is, Satellite by Asha.